Hey, Bob here, Chopper Bob Customs, and work's continuing on the JD's Garage's CNC plasma table, my version of it anyway. First off, thanks for watching the videos. If you've subscribed to my channel, thank you very much. If you haven't, I'd like for you to carefully consider subscribing right now. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell so you know when the new videos are coming out. And by all means, if you like the video, please like the video. And if you don't like the video, leave me a comment. Let me know what's wrong. If you got any questions, leave them in the comments. I try to get back to people if I can on the comments and the questions. So with that said, what I'm doing right now is I'm continuing the wiring of the plasma table. I've gone ahead. I don't see any point in showing you me soldering. If you want to see me soldering, leave me a note in the comments, but I'm thinking that that's just music that you don't need to listen to. Anyway, I've got the X-axis motor hooked up to the cable, and so today I'm going to bring you around here and show you what I've done, and then we'll go ahead and start cutting it to length. Part of the deal is I got a 50-foot roll of this shielded cable. I've got, I used about 6 foot in the box for the electronics. I was kind of surprised that I actually used that much. I got about 44 feet left. I'm not sure whether it's going to be enough to do everything I need to do with it. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and see where we're at. So let me get the, let me pause this. Okay, so what I've done here is I didn't want to have a lot of unshielded wire, so I went ahead and cut this back. I cut, probably, and I don't know whether this is necessary or not. It's just I've read horror stories about shielding. I've cut a lot of wire off the motor. Went ahead and soldered the shielded wires to it. Individually shrink tubed them, and then did a shrink tube over the entire thing to kind of give it some strain relief. I've gone ahead and tied it to the motor housing with a zip tie, and I've got my shield drain going to the motor ground. So basically now from the motor to the grounding post outside the shop building here, it is connected under one ground. So that should shield it. So anyway, let me put this back on pause, and I'm going to go ahead and start seeing how long of a cable we need. Okay, so this is a piece of electrical conduit. Here again, the JD's Garage's instructions come with a design for this, so you can cut and bend a piece, but it's obviously for the stock table that smaller than this. I've gone and decided to build a bigger table than what the original plans call for. And the plans have information in them on how you can make a larger table and the extent that the table can be before you start running into accuracy problems. Once again, like I said in the other video, JD's Garages, I'm a customer. I don't get anything from them. If they want to send me something, I sure would appreciate it. But they sold out of the height gauge, or the height torch height THC torch height control. And I'm hoping they get some more in. I'm hoping that I get to the point where I can use the THC. But as of right now, you know, it's just something I found that I'm liking a lot. And he's a big help too, because I just sent him an email this morning. I already got an answer just like that. Since I am a customer on this, he takes care of me. Had a question for him, and I've been pestering him to death with questions, and he helps me out. So, you know, what more can I ask for? At any rate, so what I've done is I've got this set up, and I'm thinking that the four extremes are probably going to be the issue here. And so basically that is slack. That will pull it out to about right there, which is about, let me take a look here. That is really just about center. So that's not too shabby. That's good. And that's good. So I'm liking it being right there. So let's bring this around like this. I think probably go on the underneath side so I don't have to worry about it cutting into it. Check it again. And the plan is to probably have the cart down here with the electronics box and with the computer. For starters, because of the geometry of the gantry there, the torch is going to be on the opposite side of the gantry. So even though I'm close to the unit here, the actual water tray is going to be out there in front of us. So the chances of getting water on this box is a lot better back here in this corner. And it would be nice to have the computer down at that end. But the truth of the matter is, I think with the cart, I can get it situated and be able to get things set up and work from this end. The thing is, the truth of the matter is this cable is cheap enough that if I am not correct on it, I can get another roll of it. I'd rather not, but time will tell. But for right now, I'm just trying to get this laid out so that I can get it hooked up and running, and then if I need to make changes, I can make changes as we go. So basically, this will come to the box about right here. It's going to be up off of the floor, so I'm going to have some slack, but I am going to go ahead and give it just a little bit of extra to give me some wiggle room. So I think right there, that will be a good setting. So go ahead and cut it, and then I can start working on the Y-axis motor. And here again, I'm probably going to shut the video off because it's just going to be stripping wires and soldering, and then I'll get back to the video when I've got it all hooked up. Okay, so I've got the Y frame motor wired up, got it strainer leaf, got it hooked up, got the length. Basically, it needs to be the same length as the other one. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut this off right here. And what I'm going to do real quick is see how much I've got left. Find out whether I'm going to have to place another order. You know, I think, let me get a tape measure and measure this real quick. Okay, so I had 44 coming in. gonna have to buy some more for the radial. I think I can get the CNC control out of this, as well as the Z motor. But I think I'm gonna have to go and get another bit of it in order to do the radial. But I'm not ready to set the radial up yet, because I'll have to order another stepper motor. I won't have to order another controller. But I think I got enough bearings to do it too. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and do the Z motor now. And again, it's just cutting wires and soldering. So I'm going to put you on hold. Okay, so it's a new day, but wiring continues on the plasma table. I basically have the wires going up to the wire, I don't know what it's called, but so right now I've got the X, Y, and Z. Eventually I've got to get the 2 wires for the micro switch for the Z height controller. And then of course I'll have to connect the plasma cable up at the top there. But okay, so I've got everything zip tied pretty much where it's going to be. I may have to replace some of the zip ties, and then I've started wiring to the control box. Okay, so that's the 5-pin connector that goes to control box. Now, on the wires that go to the control box, the first thing I wanted to do was make sure that I could identify them. And so I made just an X for the X wire, and then used some clear heat shrink to put it on there so that it is installed. And I used a full band so that it's clear to see where that's at. You might have to turn it around to find the X, but when you're looking at the cable as a whole, you'll be able to see that there's something going on right at that spot. Now, the other thing that happened yesterday off camera was the fact that I discovered that, and I also verified it with JD, is that the color codes for the wiring don't necessarily correspond with motor wiring. They're just sort of a reference point. What you really need to do is look at your stepper motor sheet that you get with the stepper motor, and your A plus needs to go to the A plus, the A negative needs to go to the A negative, the B plus needs to go to the B plus, and the B negative needs to go to the B negative. That may not be a hard, fast rule. I went out and did some checking on the internet, and of course on the internet it's kind of hard to tell who knows what they're talking about and who doesn't. But basically, I felt to be safe, the A plus needs to go to the A plus, and the A negative, so on and so forth. So I went ahead and rewired what's in the box. Let me pause this. Okay, so basically, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 no longer corresponds with A plus, A minus, B plus, B minus. That being said, I got these soldered in, and for me anyway, the soldering process on this is just slow and tedious. I'm not going to subject you to that, but I've gone ahead and got the wires put in place, soldered in place. The cable is a little bit small for the strain relief on the metal shield that goes over it, so I went ahead and ran the shrink tube out past. You can see where the indentation is for the strain relief on the shield, and then I've also used different size shrink tube to cover the terminals there, so that in case there's a stray wire or something, it's not going to ground out on the sleeve that goes over it, the metal sleeve. The other thing, this is another tip that I learned yesterday, well actually this morning, while I was reviewing the video on the rotary cutter, um, while the wiring diagram shows wiring coming off and going someplace else, in reality, you could use the same connector on the box as the X, because you can't have the X and the rotary hooked up at the same time. So since I've already got the box built and it's got 5 connectors on it, and one's for the rotary and one's for the X, I went ahead and put this cautionary note on it: disconnect rotary before connecting X. And then on the rotary, when I get done with that, it'll say disconnect X before connecting rotary. Okay, so that's just a reminder that, and you can use either the X or the rotary outlet on the box for the X or the rotary. They can be interchanged that way, but it was just one of those things that I should have thought out. That's one of those, oh, I knew that was the case, but I just blew it off, I guess. Anyway, the other thing is I had about 8 foot of this cable left. So I think I'll be able to at least use it for the rotary. I'm probably not going to make it up yet until I actually get the motor and cut out the pieces for the rotary. But I'm going to have to get another small spool of cable for the actual plasma, the CNC connection on the plasma. So basically, once I get this done with the X, Y, and Z motors, I'm going to be at a standstill until another piece of cable gets here. I'll probably be ordering it off Amazon. I'm not sure whether there's a good supply house in Oklahoma City, but okay. And so I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to tie you down with showing you the my soldering skills or lack thereof, but I'll go ahead and get the rest of them done and then show you how it looks as a final installation. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get the plasma cable made up. What I've got is about 8 feet of the shielded cable. I checked with JD, and he said his plasma is about 6 feet away from the control box. And so basically I went 8 feet. Here again, 25 bucks. There's not much you can buy for 25 bucks anymore. You buy the plan from JD's Garages, and he gets back to you. I mean, I send him emails and he gets back to me the same day, sometimes within a couple hours. That's all part of the $25 package. I mean, it's great, and because he wants you to succeed in this. He wants you to have a plasma table that you can use. Here again, I'm not making a dime from this. I'm just so thankful that I was able to get a JD's plasma table plan, and I would encourage you, if you're interested in getting a plasma, to do the same, because it's really a great bang for the buck. I'm just I can't say enough good things about it. Anyway, so I'm going to label this as the plasma line. Oh, that reminds me, I gotta go get my heat gun. Okay, so I've got that marked plasma, and now the white wire and the black wire I will not be using, at least not right now. There's only two wires, the red and the yellow, that so I'll be using terminals 1, 2, and 5, and truth is I will probably just end up taking the drain and attaching it to the casing of the connector at the plasma unit. I'll get to that in a minute. Okay, now the Lotus, I guess that's how you pronounce it, plasma, comes with, it has a 2-pin and a 4-pin on the back. I believe that the 2-pin is for the THC. I wouldn't swear to that, but until I get the THC, assuming I do get one, because what it says on there is that it's voltage out, and the THC operates by finding what the voltage is that the torch is using, and then adjusting the head height to optimize the cut. But it comes with the 2-pin connector so that you can make your cable. It also comes with a 4-pin connector for the 4-pin outlet, and pins 1 and 2 on it are for the start, for the cut, for the CNC plasma. And I'm assuming that also signals it to shut off based on the wiring diagram that JD's provides. So I'm going to go ahead and use it. It is a slightly different type. Instead of having a set screw with a quarter, not even a quarter turn, just a simple twist lock on the other side from the set screw, this one screws out completely. And so since that end of the cable will be the only 4-pin connector that I have, there's no point in labeling the other end of this line. Again, the white and the black, I'm just going to fold out of the way. but the drain, since there's no place really to connect it on the unit, I'm just going to go ahead and leave it bare so that it will basically be in contact with the end. And I need 1 and 2, which is those two right there. Okay, so there we've got the 4-pin that attaches to the Lotus plasma cutter and the 5-pin that attaches to the plasma terminal on the ammo box. And that is ready. That is the final bit of wiring. Let me pause this and go over and walk you through what's left here. Okay, so here is the connections that are attached to the motors. The Z-axis, the Y-axis, the X-axis with the note that you have to disconnect before you have to disconnect the rotary before attaching. I got into that on another video. There was nothing said about requiring a shielded cable for the Z-axis micro switch, so I did not. The thing is, it's going to be a fairly simple fix to change it if that is the case, that it does require a shielded cable. But basically I just run 2 wires to a weather pack connector that'll keep it dry and keep it from corroding, hopefully. There's the Y-axis motor all hooked up. I need to trim the zip tie. Basically the same thing, individually heat shrunk and then one major heat shrink over it. After, of course, that's after they were all soldered. The wires were cut to a very short length. And then if we come over here, there's the X-axis motor, which I showed a little bit earlier. And then here's the Z-axis motor, same situation here. And there is the Z-axis micro switch with the wires going to it. And of course what happens there is when the torch head hits the material, it goes up and the normally open micro switch goes closed, and it tells it that you've contacted the material. I did go ahead and put some, I think this is Kevlar, it might be nylon, covering over these wires, since there are 3 of them here, to try and make it just a little bit neater. Don't need to do that on the Y-axis wire here. And then up here, in addition to all of this, the torch cable will hang off of this and come down. That's one of the things I need to take care of, is I still don't have the torch holder attached to the Z-axis control. But we'll get that done, and we're going to be ready to cut here before too long.